Hi, how's everyone doing? Today we're going to have a look at a song called No One Knows by Queens of the Stone Age. Now, this is in the Trinity Grade 5 Rock and Pop book, but I don't really like the version they've done, and there are so many awesome parts on the original song that I'm just going to go through the original song and put some music up on here so you can have a little look. If anyone wants to do the Trinity version or they need to, drop me an email and I'll do one of those for that one instead. But there are a couple of really nice bits that get left out of the exam version. So I'm going to go through the normal thing now. The verse patterns are basically a quarter note rhythm with 4 on the floor. So you've got 4 kicks, decent pace, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, in the first bit, after you've done the intro, which is something along the lines of this, the whole of the verse is very straightforward. It only actually has 3 bits in it, okay? And I like to sort of break them down into little 2-bar patterns. The first 2-bar pattern is this. It goes, I'll do it slowly. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you've got that little 3-4 with the snare drum coming on an offbeat. All right, let's play that again. I'll loop that a couple of times in a row so you can have a listen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's part 1, and it happens several times throughout the verse. The second one has a little fill at the end of it, and the fill I would play like this. It goes 3 and a 4. Okay, and then goes back in 3 and a 4. And again, it works well doing it as part of a 2-bar phrase. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then back in. Okay, I'll do it one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. You got the little open hi-hat there on beat 2. And then the third phrase comes with the loose hi-hat bit. You'll notice a section where the hi-hat lifts up, and you're going again. I'll do it as a 2-bar pattern. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That doesn't repeat, but I just did it there twice so you could have a listen. So it's just one little extra snare at the end of the bar. Relatively straightforward. Then the piece gets kind of interesting and you're doing the chorus. Now the chorus is all about lots of triplets with accents. I do this first bit on the floor tom. I have seen it written up on the tom-tom. Dave Grohl has big drums, so as long as they sound kind of like a nice big tom-tom, it doesn't really matter that much. But if you think about a normal kit, maybe the kits you're learning on at school, likely to have smaller drums up here, might sound a bit weird up there. So floor tom sounds really nice, works really well. And the part is doing this. You're going 1 and a 2 and a. So you've got 2 accents there with the right hand down on the floor tom, but you've got a full bar of triplets playing a single stroke roll. 1 and a 2 and a. And you repeat around that effectively 4 times in a row. All right, have a listen to how that would sound. Okay, now your bass drum keeps time all the way through. Some people can find this quite tricky. People either tend to follow the accents with the bass drum, which isn't right, or leave the bass drum out. The bass drum has to keep time. So it's 4 on the floor with the bass drum. So it's going. Okay. Now at the end of that first fill in the chorus, you don't hit the floor tom for the 4th set of accents. You actually do this nice little fill. Okay, going around the kit. So where your right hand would have gone down for the 4th set of accents, here you will do this fill. And it'll sound like this together. And then it goes into a nice quarter note rhythm up on the crash. Got a couple of crashes here, so you're going with a nice little swung 8th note bass drum pattern. Quite straightforward. Second fill is similar in its technique, but you're using the crash cymbal. So you use 1 crash cymbal accent instead of 2 floor tom accents. Same fill at the end, so it's going. Same sort of thing. That's okay. Once you've got the first thing on the floor tom, I think the crash one's relatively straightforward. And if you don't keep time with the bass drum, at least with that one, hit the bass drums with the crashes. That way. Sometimes that doesn't trigger. Until you get all the bass drums in later on. You could start just like that. Then you've got the interesting fill, the third fill. This is the reason I want to do this version instead of the other one. This is a great little fill, okay? I'll play it quick. Have a listen to it. It's going. Okay? Now what you're doing there is I think it's like a hybrid rudiment called a herta. And technically, you're doing triplets kind of going right, right, left with an extra little left hand. So you're going like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you alternate each drum like this. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I tried to speed that up a little bit. And if I speed it up, you'll start to hear how it works. Okay, but I always teach it like this, okay, because this is ever so slightly different to that, but it sounds very similar, and I think slowly it sounds much better, okay, much nicer. You get much more of a sense of the actual fill than going. I think that sounds a little bit odd slowly, although well worth practicing as well. The other way I do it is a rudiment, called a flam accent. Now this is an excellent rudiment. I think it comes in at grade 4, so you need to be good at this anyway. So even if you did it the other way, this is not a bad bit of practice. But I would start with the left-handed flam, so going right to left, and then followed by right to left strokes. So flam, and then even slowly you can make the fill sound kind of close to how the fill should sound. Now it is slightly different because a flam, the rhythm is ever so slightly different to the actual fill. So if you played it fast, the difference is absolutely minute. But there is a difference, just so you are aware. But I think those two fills, they sound that close to each other. Anyway, so that's the other fill. And then there's a bit after the second chorus where, okay, in the original song, I think it sounds like this. So that's the fourth fill of the second chorus. Now, I had the real fortune of seeing Dave Grohl play with the Queens of the Stone Age once, and he played it like this live, using his bass drum and the toms together. So I've always done it like that ever since I saw him do it like that. It sounds, I still think on the record it sounds a bit more, but I really like them. And I think they, the rhythm is absolutely identical. It's just the instrumentation of it is slightly different, but they both work really nicely. On the play along, I'm going to do the one with the flams like that. Okay, and then there's a nice little bit just after the second chorus where you're doing this rhythm. So it's kind of like the, but there's an extra kick just after the snare. So instead of the pattern being and repeating around that, the pattern has one extra bass drum and it's going. Right, so there's 3 bass drums to 2 crashes. They end up being quarter note or crotchet triplets on your bass drum. So 6 even bass drums going. And then that bass drum pattern is then followed with the fill. Okay, 1 and 2 and half time triplets. 1 and 2 and and then that fill gets repeated around, and you have to end up doing this one where you fill it in with some bass drum rhythms. And again, I've seen other drummers play it like that. We can go around the kit. They both work really well. Then there's a big long section. I'll just play the next section slowly. So this is the bit after the second chorus, and after that, where it goes, a little bass solo starts, and then the drums kick in for this bit. I'm just going to play this slowly all the way through, and then we'll do the track. So this bit starts. Okay, so you just have a listen to that slowly. It's no harder than any of the chorus. It's just like more bits to learn. Anyway, let's give it a try with the track and see how we go.